Alrighty. Good evening, everyone. It is the evening. It is time for Diablo. It's going to be done by meatr0o. It's any percent new game. Not too much else to say. Just a quick reminder that we are fast, raising money for Royal Flying Doctor Service. Said it all enough. So not going to waste too much time. Over to you, meatr0o. And away you go.
Right, hi everyone. I'm meatr0o. I'll be your Diablo runner this evening. So yeah, as Softman mentioned, the category I'm running is any percent new game for Monk. So I'll be running acts 1 to 5. The run starts on my first movement input in game and ends when I talk to Tyrael after killing Malthael. The rules of the category are no stash, no vendors, no Paragon, and obviously no one can join the game you're in once you've started. So I'll introduce my virtual couch that'll be helping me through the run while I focus. You guys want to introduce yourselves actually so they learn your voices?
Yep. I'm Hexen.
I'm Whisperer.
Alright, we'll get into the game. So yeah, as I said, time will start as soon as I make my first input in game. To kick us off, actually, you just noticed I changed the difficulty to hard. I'm sure Hexen and Whisperer will explain why I did that in a sec, but it's for XP reasons. Alright, so I'll count us in. I will start in 3, 2, 1, and go.
I smell fear and death. The fallen star.
Okay. So me and Whisperer are going to try and help meatr0o through talking through the run, because the run is very technically and mentally intense. A lot of it is pre-planning and getting an idea for maps that are coming in. So what meatr0o is currently doing right now is he's put it to hard mode because we're trying to get to level 9 as fast as possible. I'll explain why in a bit. But so what he's doing right now is he's punching these zombies in a specific order. He punched one on the walk down so that he could level up right now. So that level up there is timed so that we can try and kill as many of those zombies there and save 2 or 3 seconds. But yeah, so you'll have to forgive us because there's a lot to get out in a very short amount of time through Act 1. So what we're doing now is everything that meatr0o is trying to do is, one, get from beginning to end as fast as possible and get to level 9 as quick as he possibly can. So everything that gives us experience, we're going to do it. So he's right there, picked up a book that'll give him experience, and there's a few things like that that we're looking for. The reason why we're trying to get to level 9 is, for monks, level 9 you get Dashing Strike, which is the mobility skill for monks. They're the earliest class to get a mobility skill, and it affects the run hugely. So anything that we can do to get it without slowing down, we're going to take. So at this point, meatr0o is walking up. So I'll probably mention this here as well, is another thing we're looking for all the time is move speed. And you see him wasting time here to punch pumpkins. It's also lucky he's got this barrel here too. Short sword dropped. He may...
No, I can't get it.
So he can't get it. So what he's trying to do is, you can break, if you break 7 destructibles in a row, so those barrels, pumpkins, the destructibles will give you a movement speed boost up to 1 minute. So if he can see a collection of breakables in that amount of time, he's going to get them. A dagger drop, that's really good. So also what he's doing is, you'll notice he's going to punch key things in this area. Like, we're not going to try and fight things to save time. Also, this is another glitch as well.
Didn't get it.
If he talks to Leah and teleports back mid-sentence, she'll appear at that gate and open it really quick. So you can see there's a lot to speak about in a very short amount of time. But so anyway, so back to the move speed. So we're trying to get chain move speed as much as you possibly can. It's not going to be everywhere, and it's all random. So if he sees 7 breakables or sees 5 breakables, he might gamble and think that he could probably get another 2 to appear. So he'll look for that as much as possible in the run. Also on top of that, we're trying to get, of course, experience. The game will give you an experience bonus for the first time you kill a certain type of enemy. So meatr0o will slow down at the beginning of that point. So that beginning run towards the basement to try and kill unique enemies that we've seen for the first time. So the big zombies there are one. The quill beasts that will shoot quills at you are another. And getting them is key to getting level 9 at exactly the time that we're prepared for. So if you know the game of Diablo, we're aiming to get level 9. meatr0o will probably get it at the when you get the crown and the ability to teleport. So this so fatty we call, they're a unique that he'll try and kill. He's also going to look for a bat. So bats here that he can kill. So he's got 600 experience and he's clear for the rest of the bit. So now all he's got to do is find Deckard Cain's the exit to Cathedral level 2. So
I sort of zoomed past it, but there was a bit of a queue back there. I can sort of tell which way to go based on the background of the map. So as I dropped in, I could see there was a particular background, so I was able to know I didn't have to check the northeast.
and there's another thing here as well. You can queue walk in cutscenes. So meatr0o's queued to walk, so he can save a bit of time walking down the stairs there. Also, the 3 skeletons that spawn there are the only things he needed to kill to spawn the head cleaver. So he'll prioritize fighting them, that bit there. Other than that, I think that's most of the stressful beginning stuff we've got to cover. So now on to the reason why we can get to level 9 at the point that we're expecting to get it. This is a glitch that a lot of people, well, not a glitch, it's a trick that a lot of people would have used to get to level 70 as fast as possible. Level 60 as fast as possible. So what we're doing here is a Torment 6 trick. So we'll lead Hadrig down into the cellar and complete this quest. Once we kill these zombies in this room here, we can complete the quest, but we don't hand it in. We can then leave the game, turn the Torment level up to Torment 6, which is a difficulty level which increases the reward you get. And so then we will try and hand it in there, and meatr0o should hopefully get to level 8 and be a few bars off level 9. And that was a good room. They gripped up really well. So meatr0o's going to blind most of the bosses of the run. This one specifically, because she just tends to knock you back and run away. Ooh. So if you talk to Hadrig there, see how the quest marker pops up? You can ruin the trick by handing in early, and then we won't be able to get the experience boost. So it's very cautious. If she drops an item, you stress out because you got to make the gamble of, do I collect it or do I not click in? So we stand in a specific spot there because it will do what's about to happen right now. You appear in town with a town portal that's going to go straight to where we were. It's very unique for this and mine a few others segments of the run. But so meatr0o's done really well. He's 2 bars off. He's level 8. He'll lower the experience back down to normal. Because if we walk out there on Torment 6, we'll die immediately. He'll just set up a few skills that we've got from going to level 8. He'll want to kill a few things walking up towards the crypt to get that experience, because he wants to get level 9 as soon as possible. Like,
actually don't need to kill. I'm a bit over leveled at the moment, so I can just breeze past these guys.
So coming up is another trick that a lot of people probably wouldn't know about. Coming up is 3 crypts inside the cemetery, and if you pick the correct, there's only 2. One of them is right, 2 of them are wrong. One of them will lead you towards the place that will give you the crown and give you the ability to the town portal and let you progress the game.
Alright, it's a sound cue, so I need a bit of quiet time. Not that one.
So what meatr0o is doing is he's listening for a specific background noise. It sounds like wind rushing
quick.
at a high pitch.
Third one.
So of course it's just chance which one you walk into. But from here on, meatr0o can hear the audio cue in the background, and then you know that you're in the right one. The second way that you can tell that you're in the right zone is the map will split off, so you'll have a decision to make to go one way or the other, and if you have to make that decision, you know you're in the right one. So right now you can see he can go northeast or southeast. meatr0o will probably, yeah, he'll go southeast. It's
don't
more
think I've got the
likely
right
to
one.
be this way. And then he'll likely run straight to the exit.
Yeah, if the exit's on the southeast, I'll be able to go straight there, and it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, so if he heads southeast here, he's probably going to just walk straight to it.
Dead
Yeah, so he's picked the right
ends.
way. That's really good.
So there's a little trick in here. There's a boss that'll block the door, but you can. He jumps out early if you break a pot near the door, and then you can just jump straight past him.
He'll have an animation where he's busting the door down, so meatr0o punches those jars and he will come out immediately. I don't know why it does that, but it does. This is probably worth mentioning as well while we're here. So these shrines, the game gives you to them as random. What we're specifically looking for is ones that will make you go faster. So Frenzied is what he picked up then, which will increase his attack speed. And that's fine for the most part. But what we want, he's being such a... So this is a common theme for a lot of the bosses in this run, is they don't want to fight you, they just run away. So, you know, you can see every hit knocks him back. meatr0o's got level 9, this is exactly where he wants it. So yeah, for shrines, meatr0o's looking for either the fleeting shrine, which makes you run faster, or he's looking for empowered shrine, which will lower all his cooldowns, and dash being such an important skill, it'll let you dash non-stop for the period that you have it. So we can expect to get a bit of movement speed here because there's 10 items to break and they're always there. So we'll guarantee to have a bit of movement speed for this bit. Another thing worth mentioning for sort of what makes the run very unique and very good and required, like the skill ceiling for it, is a lot of the run is based around learning maps and map layouts. And so everything is random. meatr0o doesn't really know where he's going in nearly all the maps in the run. But we do know... So meatr0o ran straight there. We all were very sure that that's where that was. So that exit spawns facing northeast. It has to face northeast. We don't know exactly where it's going to be, but we know roughly where to go. So if you head in that northeast direction, or try and end up in that northeast direction, you'll end up going the right way. And all maps are sort of organized that way in a jigsaw piece. So you learn the jigsaw pieces, and then you end up... you can sort of piece them together and you know how to do it. So the more you do it, the better. You can see why dash is so important. Because for ones like that, he's just saved 10 seconds by being able to dash through that wall there. Whereas in other classes run, they're going to have to run all the way around. He can just dash through the door.
So as you can see, this is another boss that likes to run away, so I blind to make him stay with me as long as possible.
So we try and look for 7 things to break here, but it's not certain they will. There wasn't. meatr0o can break 7 on the dash down there, which is very consistent. So this map is laid out in a... I guess what would the shape be?
So it's sort of like a square.
Yeah, with a path in the middle. So meatr0o's spawned in the middle of the square, and we've sort of organized them in A, B, and C. So he spawned B in the middle. So we can have a... Yeah, so he's run to where we thought it would be.
That was really lucky.
Which is good. Knowing where you start gives you a pretty good idea of where it might end up. So it's very fortunate. We look to get a bit of movement speed here. He'll save a dash coming up because there is a gap that we want to dash over, which will save time walking and opening doors and punching skeletons by accident.
I'm going to bank dashes here, which is bad, but I want to make that dash and then dash this corner.
And dash over this corner, yeah. So coming up as well is another example of being able to walk through a cutscene. So there's going to be a cutscene. Experience is good. So there's another cutscene coming up where it will stop him as skeleton spawn. So you can see he's walking towards through the cutscene.
Doors should already be closed. Yeah.
Yeah. So these doors, he skipped starting the next cutscene, which started loading while we were in the first one. So these skeletons spawned before they were supposed to. So he saved himself about 5 seconds. Then the Skeleton King fight starts. So the next thing to talk about is the items that we're looking to get. So the game is very random in the sake that we're looking for specific items that will save so much time in the run. Chat, let me know if I'm talking too fast or if I'm saying too much. But we're just going to get it all out. So, this is the first time a legendary will drop for us in the run. So, he will 100% drop a Leoric's Crown in this fight. He may drop 2. Currently, meatr0o being level 9, he can't drop anything other than that. We would love it if he could, because in the next couple of levels, we're looking for him to drop a Diablo. So a Diablo called Balance. So if he drops Balance, the run's on. And meatr0o is definitely looking to break the world record in this run. If he gets Balance, the chance of us breaking the record is good.
Slow
then
fight
it's all
doesn't
up to
help.
him. Yeah, slow fight.
Just have bad damage. So I'm looking to bank a bit of... I'm not going to level off this fight, so I'm looking to bank a bit of Spirit so I can get speed boost with Tempest Rush in a bit.
Another reason why you love Monk is this dash.
Double crossbow
Very slick.
off the fight. That's very generous of him.
Yeah, that's very bad. You can get good weapons from this. So meatr0o's been very unlucky with weapon drops so far. There's a staff that or a javelin that you're guaranteed to get. Ooh, Empowered Shrine. That's really good. Empowered is the best shrine. We're looking for that as much as possible. Getting it at this speed is really good because there's a lot of ground to cover. So we're looking for the Khazra Den. It can spawn in 5 spots. Brendan's good.
4.
4. So 4 spots. He's going to check the first spawn now, and then we sort of zigzag up the field. So he hasn't got the first one, he got the second one, which is great. That's really good. The last one is a very big walk, and it just can't do anything about it. You just got to accept it. So coming up as well is another trick that is really, it's probably one of the, I would say, swaggiest tricks in the run. We call the fill skip. So if you have an interactable, if you cast a skill at the same time you interact with the interactable, you can skip the animation and do it faster. So what meatr0o is going to do after this fight is when he interacts with the glowing sword, he will use Tempest Rush at the exact same frame. Oh, I think he's got it. Yeah, he got it. Perfect. Well done.
Second time.
And that doesn't save a lot of time, but it is difficult to do. So there's going to be a few instances of that. He's going to have to do it back to back very soon. So next thing is probably worth talking about is the next experience bracket we're looking to get towards. We're looking to get to level 20 as the maximum. So once we get to level 20, we don't need to level up anymore, and we want to actively stop fighting people. Level 11, we get a resource cost reduction for our Tempest Rush, which is what meatr0o uses to run through enemies that block him. Actually, he's going to come up, he's going to do a trick he actually learnt today. Are you?
If I have to. So this guy can sometimes be slow in running to you, so if you can force him to TP to you if you jump in the waypoint. It looks like he's quick.
Yeah, good. So, yeah, it's a trick that meatr0o just worked out today. We've been sort of finding out there's ways you can speed the run up by interacting with the NPCs, because they commonly slow you down. I'll talk more about that when we come up to it later in Act 2. But through now, it's essentially like making him teleport back to town will force him to reset his communication, and it saves him about 1 or 2 seconds. The run is very optimized as well. There's a lot of RNG, and 1 or 2 seconds is very important in this run. We can't turn our nose down at any sort of time save. Yeah, things like this.
Unfriendly skeletons.
Yeah, this is why we have Tempest Rush. Managing a spirit is a very important part of the run. So meatr0o's spirit, you can see on the bottom right, is very low. So he has to be very careful with where he Tempest Rushes, because once he starts, he has to channel it, and using it is the most costly part of the skill. And we use it to get through mob blocks like that if dash is on cooldown. So all he's doing here is getting these beacons, and then he's going to teleport back to where we came from. Protection Shrine is the worst shrine, it does nothing for us.
So I'm going to try and get a bit of spirit here to do another fiddle skip.
Yeah, so coming up, he's...
It's got to get far enough away to
very
TP.
ballsy, very ballsy. Oh, he's done it. I don't TP there, that's very scary. So he's going to do 2 fiddle skips here. Here's the first one.
Got it.
Oh, he's got it. I was nervous.
I'm not going to risk the second one.
Yeah. Whew. God, I thought you messed that up. That's really good.
Look at this architecture. This predates the Civil War.
So this bit, all we're doing is fighting. There's a little bit of tech coming up as well that we're sort of playing around with. In these areas, especially, it happens a lot in Act 1, but cultists spawn in groups. We're trying to work out what... Because sometimes they spawn a lot, sometimes they spawn all together, sometimes they spawn drip feed you one by one. That's good boots. Actually, we talked about itemization, really do that. But I might even get Jamie or Whisperer to talk about that. You can probably let me have a break. But yeah, so in this fight here, he'll have another fiddle skip at the end. But what we found is killing them all at the same time will increase the rate that they spawn. So that's a very quick fight.
She's toying with us. We must get back
Oh,
to
he
her
didn't get it.
right away.
Second
He got it
time's
the
a
second
charm.
time. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's still faster than doing it automatically. Doing it normally. So, Whisperer, do you want to talk about itemization? Oh, we have a quick second.
I was thinking. Sure. So as Hexon mentioned, we're definitely looking for a couple of key items. One being balance, the kind of Diablo weapon. But beyond that, your character's obviously got to stack early slots. All we really care about is going fast and doing a lot of damage as fast as we can. So, a lot of stats we don't really want to, care too much about, stamina and stuff like that. All we really want is move speed, which mainly comes in the boots, which we're always looking at for a pair of quick shoes early on, and just damage. So anything with agility on it, so might stay away. So what you'll probably see throughout the run is picking up a bunch of units, having a quick look, seeing if it's a little bit better or a little bit worse, and having especially a good look at those boots to make sure we've got, ideally 6, 7, 8, or 9% move speed on it. As we get later in the run, you'll probably see him not pick up as much gear. You'll see he's kind of itemized as much as he can. He's trying not to get as too many levels later on, because as you level up, the mobs level up with you in this game. So ideally, you want to hit a peak where you're pretty strong, not level up too much, and just keep going.
Yeah, and as he said, boots, we're very keen on boots. The maximum that we can get is 12% for movement speed. So, and we absolutely cannot get movement speed at this point in the run, or 12%. The most we can get is 7 right now. So if meatr0o can find 7% movement speed, that's a great dash, by the way. And that's something that monks are specialized in. No one else at this point of the game can do that dash.
Barbs might have leap, actually.
Actually, yeah, true. So right here, meatr0o pretty much knows where he's going. When you walk into this, the run to Queen Arene is sort of set map. It just depends where you spawn in. So meatr0o knows at that point you're either going northeast or southwest, and then we're looking for a sort of S-bend connector that goes to the way he is, and meatr0o's run straight there. So this tile set is what we're looking for specifically. So he's on it. We know exactly where the Queen is. She's going to be northwest of here.
Northeast.
Northwest right now, and then northeast. But yeah, so when here in co-op, so co-op is a run. We all run this together in co-op, and meatr0o's doing the solo now. In co-op, we can two-cycle this fight. It would be very, very unlikely for meatr0o to two-cycle her. It's possible to have great damage. Yeah, he doesn't have great damage, so we'll probably be doing it in 3 phases. So she will spew out the poison, they'll fight her, and then she'll run away into the caves. She'll come out again. When she gets to around 50%, she'll disappear again. So meatr0o will likely hold off a bit of damage when the fight starts, just to get her to start an animation where she stays a bit longer. Hopefully 2 cycles. So right now he's going to go hard, slashing tail kicks. She'll run away because he doesn't have enough damage.
That's
Still,
close.
that's pretty good though.
Yeah, that's close.
Yeah.
And
then yeah, and so this is pretty standard. For solo especially, this is how this fight goes. He'll finish her off in the final cycle and then leave.
Time for a couple of quick donations while boss fight?
Yes, great time to do it, yep.
Fantastic. So we've got a few that have come in the last while. An AMLG Bong Hits.
Great name.
Great name. Donated $11.55. This was just appeared in the previous run saying PogChamp, go liquid PogChamp. Thank you for that. Club Who, the lovely person who's helped with the layouts has donated $55.20. Said, had to donate during this, of course, money to the audio language being English, and that's for Cold Steel. Just to quickly update you on that. Currently, English is ahead by about $50. So if you want English to be the audio language for Trails of Cold Steel, get those donations in. Got about an hour and a half. Then a couple of quick ones. Anonymous donated $22.46, no comment, and Paul Cowan donated $5.73, no comment. Thank you for both of those, and back to the run.
Thanks, off man. So what we're doing in this bit is, so you see meatr0o at the beginning of that hung back and spoke to the NPC as he walked out from the fight. You don't actually have to speak. You don't actually have to speak to her to get the quest going. There's a lot of NPCs like this that we'll ignore. It's just faster to speak to her in this because the Khazra staff that we're looking for to move on will spawn in 3 different spots, and rather than checking all 3 spots, if you talk to her, she'll literally it'll appear on the map, so we can just run straight there. So there's a lot of places in the run where you can't ignore talking to NPCs. It's just a little bit faster to speak to her there. So another example of why dash is good is these bit. meatr0o's going to check for 2 possible shrine locations to try and get empowered. He did get empowered as well, so which has made him zoom through this bit. Coming up is a great reason why you go monk. So there's a fight coming up that you have to kill all the cultists in this room. As monk, we can just dash through it and ignore the fight. So what meatr0o's going to do, there's a weak bit of wall on the southwest here. So meatr0o's going to dash down, and we skip the fight. And that, it saves us about 20 seconds. And there's a reason. Monk is the fastest class to finish Diablo 3 with. Currently, the time... what's your world record, meatr0o?
It's 1:43 something.
Yeah, so and there's a reason why that's so far ahead. It's maybe 10 minutes ahead of the rest of the classes. And there's a reason. It's due to dash and the way dash interacts with the walls. So if meatr0o's looking for these chompers here, this lets him know that you're going the correct way. This can spawn in any direction. But once we're on this chomper's path, we know we're going to the next level. So we're now going to Halls of Agony level 2. This we roughly know where it is. It's always southeast of where you come in. He could nearly literally just run in a southeast direction from where he is right now and go straight to the exit. Scrubbed Casual, thank you. 1:43:44. That's your record time.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you can see it comes up on the map. It comes up very early. This isn't a very punishing level, but things like this can happen, which has happened to meatr0o now. You know it's southeast of you, but the map does zigzag like this and makes you take a little bit of a more scenic route to get to the direction you want to get to. Sometimes it can make you do a 50-50 split directly in the middle, and you've got to make a value decision of like, you know, am I going more north, am I going more south? So coming up is one of the hardest dashes in the game. It can be very easy, but to save half a second, meatr0o's going to make it very difficult on himself.
Got it.
Yeah, that dash there, that's very, very hard. It looks a lot easier. It's due to the way the maps go. It's not exactly where it says it is.
It's not level, yeah. There's different levels in the game, so that's actually below you. So the mouse position can be quite tricky depending on how far below you it is. Sometimes you can't do the dash at all if it's too far below.
And feel free in chat to ask us any questions if you have. Because we are looking and we can answer it. There's a lot to get out, so I appreciate that I'm word spamming this. But yeah, we'll do our best. If I go past too fast for something or skip anything, please feel free to let us know. So all meatr0o's doing here is he's got to collect 6 prisoners remains that can spawn either heavily northwest or heavily southeast. The notable thing about this area, Hobrev said, does this segment have any set patterns? So this one, yes.
So
it's
that's
always
one of
going
them?
to be northwest and southeast. That's a very good pattern that meatr0o had, the northwest one. It can be much more labyrinthine.
This is the best one that I'm hitting now, actually.
Yeah, so this is very good. You can spawn in any of these prisons though, and so what we're looking for in these is to get in and get the prisoners' remains. What's annoying about this game, though, is you can't dash through walls that have a closed door, and the closed door can be connected to nearly anything to make you dash into the wall. So Metro can dash through that wall right there, which is, expected. If there's a closed door somewhere that he can't see, he will dash into the wall and waste his dash, and he'll have to walk around and try and find out where that door is and break it. So that's the thing that makes this bit really annoying. Other than that, it's reasonably clear cut. The game just slows you down if it wants to. He'll dash over a wall here that's consistent, and we can go straight in there without having to walk around. Hen outfit, Monk is the fastest. Yes, by very far. No other class can come close. Demon Hunter is the second fastest. And the rest of them, they get their movement tech too late. So a lot of them will get their, like Wizard, I'm pretty sure it's around level 20, will get their teleport. Or even the 28, I can't remember exactly what it is. But Monk getting at level 9 is the key thing that makes it different.
Yeah, Demon Hunter can move faster over short maps, but you're limited by your spending resource to do the vault.
The discipline's too hard to get back, and you end up walking a lot
over
more
a longer distance. Monk can just go so much further.
Yeah, and then combine that with Empowered Shrine. So same thing for the Horse Wagon level 3 as for level 1. This can spawn anywhere, but this the exit will always face northeast. Metro's seen it on the map where it was, so it's just northwest of him right now. It's going to make him, and it's a problem because you think it's northeast-ish, so you then have a you want to head northeast, but it's not, because this has done what it tends to do to you and wrap around itself. So it was northeast, but it was northwest of where he started. But we've done it enough that we're expecting that it would happen. So coming up is the roughly the first time that we're looking for.
I'm just going to take a second to get this because my DPS is bad.
Yeah. So what Metro is now looking for, we're about to fight the Butcher. So that's the boss of Act 1, and Act 1's nearly finished. When he kills the Butcher here, we're hoping for balance to drop. There will be definitely one legendary drop. It has to drop. We're hoping for 2, and we're hoping one of them is balanced. There can be as well, Lashing Tail Boots is another one we're looking for. It's called Rivera Dances. Rivera Dances are excellent as well for the run, especially if they have move speed on them too, because they can get 12% right now. Metro got boots. We're hoping they're Rivera Dances. They're not. No. Okay, so what we can hope for is that these will come with 12% move speed, and that will be fine. Like, we're not expecting to get balance. There's a lot of times that we can get it. It'd just be great to get it early. If we do get it early, though, then you will have to replace it later in the run because the damage will be Act 1 damage. Also probably mentioned, the reason why we're looking for balance, the Diablo, is it increases your Tempest Rush by 600%, I'm pretty sure. Is that right?
300, I think.
Yeah,
Or
so
maybe
300%.
5 to 600, something like that. It's very good.
Yeah, so the percent increase is every time you hit someone while you're channeling Tempest Rush, your damage is increased by hundreds of percent. And that damage is way above anything else that can happen in the game. So, and it's a very cheap resource to spend too. So getting the Diablo will just let us melt bosses. And that's the limitation with Monk versus the other classes, is Monk is pretty bad at killing bosses until you get to level 17 or pick up the Diablo or Lashing Tail Boots. At level 17, there's a breakpoint we're looking for to get 7-sided strike, which will do a sort of jump kick 7 times on an enemy. So if we're fighting several enemies, it'll split damage across all of them. If you're fighting one, it'll do maximum damage to them. So we try and use it for bosses. So this fight is worth mentioning because it's just a sort of criticism of NPCs. Metro's going to speak to the Enchantress. He's got lucky, so she can stand there and waste 25 seconds every time sometimes. She'll just do nothing for a really long time. What we found you can do is so we think the problem is she's targeting an enemy that's off screen, and she'll be targeting it and expect it to despawn, and if it never despawns, she'll stand there and wait. What we found is if we leave one enemy alive, if there are some around, and then kill it, she'll then stop wasting time and then start to act and go on to the next thing she has to do. So if there are enemies around, Metro will leave one. He didn't have any enemies, so he got lucky and he could just move on, and she didn't waste any time. She just zoomed through. That is not an uncommon problem either. It'll happen in 60% of your runs. She does it all the time, and she's not the only NPC that'll do it to you too. So other than Seven-Sided Strike, the next experience breakpoint we're looking for is level 15. Level 15 will give a movement speed increase to your dash, which will speed you up a lot. So Metro's 12 right now, which is roughly the level that you're expected to be at this time. He'll hope to get level 15 around the sewers or on the way to find Cool's head, which will come up in a couple of minutes. So Twitch Decker said, what's the speedrun scene like for other Diablo games compared to Diablo 3? Diablo 1, I think, is probably more niche, I would say, but Diablo 2 is very competitive. Diablo 2 is very difficult compared to Diablo 3. One of the criticisms, I think, of the Diablo 3 speedrun, and I sort of agree with it, like I wish it was a bit harder, but there isn't really a threat of dying in this run until maybe 2 points in the game in Act 5. I wish that there was more damage threat, and there was when the game originally came out, but nowadays you're so strong in these points that we don't even care about armor or health, and it would be nice to include that. Dash coming up as well, this is probably the second hardest dash in the game, and he's nailed it. Very well done, Metro. So yeah, in this room is another example of the fiddle skip to try and get these people out of these cages. Metro has to kill these, do the fiddle skip on this cage.
Oh.
He hasn't done it.
Back up.
Yeah, if you fail 2 times, just move on. So this is a good example of, I think I spoke about it in Scoundrel in Act 1, but we've got a... so this fight happens out here. We're going to have to speak to an NPC to move on to the next bit, but he takes a bit of time to walk to the gate. So Metro is going to talk to him and see how he teleports right to the gate there. That was a trick we discovered maybe beginning of the year, where if you interrupt an NPC while he's on a way to do a task he has queued, he will immediately just ignore you and teleport to the path. So he can as well get stuck there queuing at an enemy or, doing nothing. And speaking to him will consistently force him to teleport, which, can save us sometimes 15 seconds, sometimes 3 seconds of walking.
Yeah, sometimes the fight can drag him right to the back of the town.
Yeah, and then he has to walk the whole way down. So nothing special about this. Coming up, we're about to fight Magda. The fight's not too hard. She'll run away and waste time. If you have any donations or any messages, now's probably a good time. And then we got a lot to talk about.
Yes, I'll just quickly remind everyone that we are Oz Speedruns. We're a group that does speedrun events to raise money for charity. For example, in July we raised money for Beyond Blue, and in November, which is now, Fast 2020 is raising money for the Royal Flying Doctor Service, who provide emergency medical and primary healthcare services to anyone who lives, works or travels in rural and remote Australia. We've been saying it a lot tonight, but it's for the non-Australians who are out there watching, it's something that's a lot of people who've never heard of Australia geographically gets very surprised at the low population density, like the fact that there are so many rural and remote communities and so many people who the idea of just getting medical care, it's not easy. It's easier said than done. So the RFDS, fantastic charity that assists in those situations, and which is why we're very proud to support them. I'll pop a link in chat in a second, but if you are feeling generous and would like to donate, we encourage it, and you can go to donate.ozspeedruns.com to do this.
Thanks, Softman. So what Metro's doing now is he's heading into the sewers, and in the sewers is the moment that running solo becomes very difficult in comparison to running co-op. So with co-op, we split it up into categories of 2-player, 3-player, 4-player, with separate, world records for each of them. The 4-player world record is by far the fastest, and and the reason is because of places like this. So you can see how Metro is going to have to check every single corridor. These sewers, there are a few things we're looking for specifically, and he's on right now, aren't you?
Yeah, so he's looking for a 4-way split here. So there can be a fake 4-way split. He was fortunate enough it was that first one.
Yeah, so when you get on the 4-way split, you know you're in the right direction. But being solo, you still have to check all 4 directions. And if you get the last one, it's time you're never going to get back. So what playing co-op can do is you don't have to check every one. All 4 of you can split and do it all at the same time. So with solo, you're just going to have to check all of them. There's another thing that we can do here. I mean, with co-op especially, what one of the benefits is the ability to teleport to each other that meatr0o, of course, can't do. He has to run himself. We have a setup in this part specifically in the co-op run where you can leave town portals in key areas that'll save you having to run later. So meatr0o, being solo, will have to run there himself, but in the co-op run, we can leave that before the previous event that meatr0o was in, and then teleport into it, and everyone can teleport to the person that went through the town portal, and you can save so much time walking. The difference between meatr0o's world record for solo and the co-op's world record is 25 minutes roughly. The amount of time that's saved from that is, literally just taking the RNG out of the game. So what he's looking for now is the Forgotten Ruins that can spawn in, I'm going to say 7 spots.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so it's a lot. So he's going to check the first one in the corner here, and he's going to follow a set path to find them. If he finds the first one, it's great. It's not in the first spawn. He'll check second. He'll go all the way up to the last one. Fleeting Shrine is excellent for this bit. That is such a lucky shrine.
It's being a bit nice to me, this, right?
Yeah, it was very lucky.
Waypoint.
So second spawn is a waypoint. So it's once we know the waypoint's there, we don't have to check it again. We know that that's spawned in that location. Once that's happened, we're going to go into the Forgotten Ruins. And the Forgotten Ruins is it's sort of a ruined tile set where we're looking for Cool's Head, and it can spawn in pretty much nearly any spot, but it's limited to spawning around the edge of the map. We have to face that same tile set later where it gets to spawn in more sections, which makes it a lot more difficult to find. meatr0o knows where to look though, so it should be pretty consistent. He has been unlucky with the spawn, so it's probably going to be the 6th or 7th spawn.
It cannot be done.
Looks like it's last spawn.
Or did I miss one?
Look like it. Check the top left.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
just
So
brush
it's false
past.
one.
Yeah, I breezed past the rock.
So yeah, this run we're looking for Cool's Head. The map tends to spawn out in a square. So meatr0o will be checking the edges, so you're looking in the northwest. It's sort of like the outside edges. It will never spawn on the inside edges of the map in this one. Later on it will spawn on the inside section, so you'll have double the areas to look. meatr0o and I have a running argument going on. Ooh, that's another movement speed shrine. That's really good. So we have an argument currently going on where there is a tile here. I just walk straight to it. That's very good. That's very lucky. Yeah, where there's a 4-way tile in this zone, and meatr0o has said all times that the head will never spawn there. He's very lucky. I can't believe he got out. Yeah, where he's saying the head will never spawn in that area. I kept checking it because I'm an idiot. And then one time it did spawn on there, and that's probably one in maybe the thousands of times we've done this run. So
Yeah,
meatr0o
it's-
still doesn't check it because he knows that it's 1 in 1,000 chances spawning there.
Yeah, it's just not worth it to me.
Yeah, but you were punished with it the other day, weren't you?
Yes. I just never check it because it's never there, so it's just I'd rather ditch the run than than check there. And lately I've been seeing it there a lot more often, so for marathon safety I might check it for all the fans at home.
Yeah, luckily he didn't have to look though. It came before he saw it. So Zed Voorhees, you guys ever break world records? Yes. So the world record before we started running this game was in co-op was 1 hour 25, and I think solo was, what was it, 1 hour 58?
It was 150 something.
I think it was an hour 58 when you started running solo. And so there was a big fight for solo monk until I think meatr0o was neck and neck with another Diablo 3 runner, meatr0o, who they were both sitting around 152, 151, 150. meatr0o eventually beat meatr0o's record by 3 minutes, I think, and we were, with how hard meatr0o's run was to get in the first place, we thought that it would never be beat. And I think in the next week, didn't you beat it? To get to the time that it is
Yeah, it was
now,
about 2
143.
weeks.
Yeah, and so I mean, and that run's been sort of untouched since then. It's a very difficult run. He's got close to it this week for practice specifically, and then the co-op world record was 132. I think when we started, it got pushed down to 127, 125, and it's currently sitting at 120.01, not 120.02, something like that.
This is a really bad service, by the way. Oh, here we go.
We are doing this run as well in. I don't know how we've done it, but we applied for AGDQ in January, and for the first time Diablo 3 has ever been run at AGDQ, and it's in. So I don't know how we've managed to do that, but we're in. So we're looking forward to show off the co-op run January 4th, I think we're on. And we have a lot of new tech that we're hoping to show off at that run. And hopefully we'll practice enough to get it clean by then. So if so, we're hoping to break the world record come January, and on stream would be very good. Yeah, scrub casual, I can't believe it. It's been so long and Diablo 3 has never been run at AGDQ. Diablo 2's been a few times. I think Diablo 1's even been at once, maybe not AGDQ, but yeah, I mean, here it is, finally done it. Great to show off, especially with all the things that we brought into the game and new impressive tech. There's a lot of things that are really impressive with meatr0o's run that we can show off. Co-op just makes it so much faster. It's a very fun, exciting run. A lot of communication as well. Probably one of the highlights for me is the communication required between all three of us, which is a 3-man run we'll be showing off. But so anyway, back to the run. So meatr0o right now is finding the blood, salt and cool from 2 locations, the cave and the vault. So this can spawn in 6 spots on this map. We know where they are, they're always in one of the 6, so you've got to check them all, hopefully you get early one. The cave will always, you tend to follow the south wall, and you'll tend to get into the correct area. So it'll do what it's doing right now, which will make you think it's going that direction, then
Yeah, I
peel
think
off.
that was
So
the loot.
yeah, meatr0o's essentially gone the right direction. It will try and, if you follow the north wall, you're going to end up on loops. It'll take a lot longer. The exit to Cave the Betrayer level 2 is always facing northwest. So meatr0o is going to hug the north wall as much as is safe.
This looks good.
Because, yeah, same as before. So right now he could be going the wrong direction, but we just have to gamble. It's done a split. No, that's great. Really short, really good. So he's made the correct decision. Getting out is now the problem because you've got a TP and things might stop him. Oh, he's nailed it. Well done. That's one of the hardest things, is teleporting out of the area that you were just in. Co-op is a lot of it because we're constantly trying to leapfrog each other, which is we will be able to teleport to each other's profile.
I'm gonna gamble.
And-
Should I gamble? Oh, I'm gonna gamble.
Gamble, do it. World record. So meatr0o is going to skip one and check the shortest possible one, and if it's there, we're going to go nuts. If it's not, we're going to...
There's a spawner
Well,
right near
Valkyrie
the
outlet.
exit, so I'm just gonna sort of, because I've only got one more thing left to check. I'm just gonna gamble that it's gonna be the last spawn, and it
It
was.
is. Oh my god! Yeah, you have to do it.
Yeah, so there was like 4 other spawns it could be, and I just sort of gambled it was the last one.
And those 4 spawns are back in the other direction. So he could be responsible and check the other 4, but he gambled and checked the one that would save us the most time and nailed it. So we're back on this tile set again. This time it can spawn on the outer edges and the inside edge.
So like that's the square.
Yeah, so meatr0o is now looking for the exact same thing as before, the blood. There's some places it can be, some places it can't. Oh, excellent. Really good. So now, and this is a very difficult split to get through, is this fight with Cool. So now meatr0o is on his way to fight Cool. He's got to do a few more things before we can do it, but the bad bit's over.
The northern tip of the desolate sands. There we will find my
there's a couple of little tricks like map knowledge that come for this next bit. We'll talk about that, I think, and then probably have some time for donations or messages coming up to it. But I'll talk about this first, archives, before we go.
I think my
okay,
least favourite thing about running this game is it's often the fastest to skip everyone's dialogue. And some of the voice acting in this game there's a great mix between cool voice acting and abysmal voice acting.
Yeah,
But both ways, it's really fun.
I have a favourite coming up, and I might even voice act it. I hate it. I really hate it. It's really.
Oh, I could have jumped that corner.
So this one that he's on right now is really difficult to know what's coming. It's very loopy. The dashes are very difficult. The map tiles are very confusing. meatr0o has done it very well. It hasn't been very nice to him. He's gone a dead end there, though. The next one coming up is a lot easier to manage. It'll always be either northeast, southwest. Is that right, or is it northwest, southeast?
Southeast, northwest, yeah.
Yeah. So that it's always going to be one of those two directions. So you always start off on a four-way split, and you know that it's going to be one of those two, and you can skip the other two. He's just looking for this. When you know you're on this tile, you know you're on the right one. So meatr0o is just going to do the same thing for the next one, and then he's going to look for lock to or Cool's body after this. So it was the northwest. As soon as you're on this long, narrow walkway, you know you're on the right path. There'll be another narrow walkway going a different direction. That'll let meatr0o know he's... Oh, fleeting shrines, excellent.
A lot of fleeting shrines.
Yeah, this is a very good run. So he's on this walkway now. He knows he's on the path to it. This one's a lot easier than the first one. Yeah, then he'll look for the body in the next one. We're looking for a four-way split that lets you know you're on the correct path again, but I'll point that now out when we get to it. Other than that, Softman, any donations?
I just want to shout out the upcoming incentive, which is coming up after this run for Trails of Cold Steel. It's audio language is the choice currently between English and Japanese. English is sitting at $371, Japanese at $321. So if you would like to hear that game dubbed in Japanese, get those donations in. As I said, $50 difference between them, so definitely can be an outcome that is swayed. So get those donations in. There's a link currently in chat. It's donate.speedruns.com, and it's all supporting the Royal Flying Doctor Service in Australia. Thank you.
Okay, so meatr0o knows that he's on this tile now, that this is the correct one. He's got to check all four splits. It's this ball that's in the middle with the four-way split, so he's found the body. Once you're on this tile, you're there. It's always here. So now all meatr0o's got to do is fight Zoltan Cool. This is another boss that, of course, will just run away. He often does. He's a mini-boss. He's not a full boss of the act. So he can drop legendaries, but he probably won't. He'd be very lucky if he did. So meatr0o's going to punch him here until he's going to start running away as soon as his guardians disappear, which luckily meatr0o killed them all at the same time, which is good.
Exploding palm.
Yes, then we will teleport back and meatr0o will start an event with my terrible voice acting. Is this run well run potential? Yes. Yep, definitely is.
Yeah, this has been really good luck.
He's been at a good pace so far. Definitely there's a lot more that can be lost. But this is a very hard act. There's still a lot harder stuff to come. But yeah, if you're going to lose a run, a lot of times it's here. Act 3 has one of the worst splits in the entire game, and that may decide his run, but we'll let you know when that comes up. So, all meatr0o's got to do here is get refugees. He's got to... there's a chance that they don't follow you, so you have to sort of hang around for a second once you've knocked the cart over. If you just knock it and walk away straight away, they won't follow you. You have to walk very close to them to pick them up as well, or they will not follow you, even if it looks like they are. Their character model may still be left behind, which is very annoying on a PB run when you walk to the sewer here and this train transition doesn't happen. You've got to go back and find what guy you have. You can see on the map, there is on the top right of the screen and the bottom left of meatr0o's marker, that there's one standing there. Always tricks you. He's just standing there, but it's not part of the game.
It's a very buggy part of the game.
Yeah, J010 that the worst part of the run is GOM. You may do it better than us, but I feel the GOM split is the worst split.
That's where we lose most of our time.
Yeah. So now Metro's going to fight Belial. This is another very good time to get balance. So if we're ever going to get it, this is the time to get it.
Let's cash in all our good luck.
Yeah. If we don't get it here, it starts to get lower chance of us getting it. Metro hasn't been very lucky with legendaries. What was your move speed on the
Yeah, pretty good, 11.
11? Yeah, that's very good. But we haven't got any of the legendaries that we want
Yeah,
to
we
get.
got a lot of good
It's-
damage
I
ones.
will not do that.
Yeah, it's not going to kill us at this point because Zweihander is a good damage weapon, so he is at least going to kill stuff, but not to the level that we want to kill.
I will need to upgrade it.
Yeah. So, if anyone wants to donate to Metro getting a balance, please do. I've heard that,
Whatever good luck you can send me, I'll take it.
yeah, I've heard that donating to Royal Flying Doctor Service increases balance's chance. I think the devs included that into the game.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, so you can see how slow this fight is. He can die in 2 or 3 seconds if we have balance, but this is where Monk falls down. If you're a Demon Hunter, this fight's a lot faster, just naturally. And then coming up after this, we've got Act 3, which is a set piece, which the map doesn't change. It's exactly the same every time. I might let Vespera explain the Act 3 run if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Double ledger.
Yeah. There's a couple of set pieces at the start of Act 3, and then we kind of go back to your semi-random, semi-formulaic style maps that you've been seeing at the end of this act. So you see, initially talk to the guy, TP directly to his hand instead of taking the standard walking path down. But again, very quick run through here. What he's going to do here is going to essentially light 5 beacons. Again, a good example of where the single player one, you've got to go up individually and light them. Very much a faster running co-op where you can get people to peel off and go light them individually with one person running ahead. But this is a really good run so far. He's been very lucky in terms of shrines.
Difficult dash.
very good dashes so far. You kind of hear us kind of groan every time a dash.
I can
flops.
feel my pain. Yeah, it's a really big time loss to miss a dash.
Yeah, and it's a relatively janky mechanic. It doesn't always want to dash to where you pick your mouse because of these different height layers he's going up and down.
Yeah, so well, one of the key differences, as which Roger said, with this is the ability to ignore these beacons. So what we'll tend to do, and as I mentioned before, what makes co-op very fast compared to solo is you don't have to, you finish the game as fast as you get to the end of the game. So walking is the big limiter to finishing the game fast. So when you have 4 people playing, you can teleport to each other. So meatr0o could just dash twice here, and then someone could teleport in front of him and then dash 2 more times. And so we could leapfrog those dashes constantly until the game ends. That's difficult because enemies will stop you getting back to town, etc, etc. So in this bit, what we will tend to do is meatr0o can just run straight to the exit while me and Vespera will peel off into different corners of the map. And so we'll be able to go to different of those signifiers and light them individually, so meatr0o doesn't have to slow down and do them. And the second those signifiers are done, we can then jump in front of him and continue leapfrogging to increase the speed.
So this is just a set piece. To explain, this is just a set piece here. So this is one of the few places in the run where you can just sort of relax. Just gotta wait for this bit to come up.
Nearly one of the only breaks in the game. So you got about
We're all in Act
couple
3,
seconds.
really.
Yeah, and then coming up is the worst bit in the game.
Yeah, this is probably I find the scariest part of the game. So there's 3 events here where we got to raise catapults. We've got to babysit these soldiers while they raise it themselves, actually. But what you can do in solo, because waiting for it is slow, you can start them and run away. And if you're fast enough,
You can despawn the enemies. So hopefully I've got that.
Yeah, so you can see right here, this is the slowest so this takes the longest to finish that catapult. What you would have to do if you're playing the game normally is you're going to have to wait. So you have to wait there and nurse it, otherwise the NPCs that are raising it are going to die. And they can die, they have a health bar. If they die, you soft lock and the game's over. Metro is a risk of soft locking right now, the run could end right in a second.
I can recover, but it's big time loss. I'll have to do this whole quest again. So hopefully I got it.
Yeah,
I
so
feel pretty
what we
good
have to
about
be,
that.
yeah, what we have to be wary of is if Metro sees an elite spawn like he has right now, he is going to have to kill that elite spawn before he moves on. He didn't have any luckily, so he could just leave them. If there's a big group of enemies, he's going to have to thin them out a bit, and he has to leave very quick. So as soon as he speaks to the NPCs with the question mark or the exclamation mark above the head and accepts the quest, they the event will start, and the timers to start spawning mobs to flood him will start. If he leaves before that event triggers, they won't ever spawn. So right now, if Metro's done it right, and he has, those catapults will raise and complete, and nothing will have ever spawned and killed the NPCs that are doing it. If he hasn't, we will see one of the catapult bars not increase anymore. It would have stopped at halfway, and we would be sitting here waiting, and Metro would have had to have reset, which is terrible.
This is the nervy part when you go back to town early and you're just waiting for it to finish.
Yeah, so this is the next time we probably go. Metro's about 10 seconds of waiting before we go into then the GOM split, which is 3 levels of very difficult, confusing to navigate. It's a terrible dungeon with doors everywhere, walls that look like you can dash through, but you can't because there's a door shut out of your screen. There's a lot of learning. There's some things we can use to try and predict better about where to go. There's some things to watch out for, which I'll explain. Ooh.
We have a soft lock.
We have a soft lock. Oh, look how close that one is.
Devastating.
Oh, that hurt. So, what Metro's going to have to do is redo that quest. It's very... I've never seen it finish that close. So, we've already covered this. Metro will try and get speed boost to try and make it a bit quicker. If you have any donations, now would be a great time to read them.
Yeah, so we've got a $25 donation from Fishburger, who says, "Did you hear? Old meatr0o has us down to half rations. How are we supposed to speedrun if we're starving?"
Fantastic.
Good question. Gotta eat. Gotta eat to speedrun. It's the first rule of speedrunning. Actually, no, it's the second. Rule 1, go fast. Rule 2, eat.
Did you hear?
Stay hydrated. It's been hot, especially in Australia. It's been hot today, it's been hot yesterday, so make sure you'll stay hydrated. It's very important.
I forgot I didn't actually mention, I didn't do my terrible voice acting from Act 2, the guy I hate. It's on the way when you're doing the caravans, checking all the people there on the way to Belial. It's a guy who says, "I never believed it would end like this." I hate that guy.
Alright, I'm gonna have to fight these guys for safety.
So Metro, one benefit is Metro is now level 17. So Metro now definitely has 7-sided strikes before the GOM fight. That speeds that fight up a lot better than it would before. So the last experience breakpoint that we're looking for is level 20. And level 20 will give Metro Tailwind, which is... So Metro currently has... so you can equip runes to the skills that you have in Diablo 3. And Tempest Rush, when you first get it, has no runes equipped. At level 11, Metro gets the first rune, which reduces the resource cost of Tempest Rush, so he can do it more and for longer. At level 20, he will ditch that He will have to make a decision whether it's worth ditching it at the time, but most of the time it is worth it. He'll make a decision on whether he equips Tailwind, which increases his move speed while he's channeling Tempest Rush. In nearly all situations, it's a lot better. And then on top of that, he'll get the talent as well, Exalted Soul. So he'll be able to equip a second talent. At level 10, he equipped, which we probably didn't cover, is Fleet Footwork, which increases his run speed by 10%. If he's... and so now at level 20, he gets a second talent, which Exalted Soul. Your Spirit now will recover by itself. Spirit usually is only recovered by punching enemies. And now if you
I've got it this time.
yeah, if you have Exalted Soul, it makes synergizing with your Tailwind Tempest Rush a lot better. Ping Rage, what's the score?
Scary few seconds.
Yeah, nervy, but we've done it. So now we're in the Gom split, Gom squared. By the way, Metro, Ping Rage has said, what's the score, meatr0o? 2-0 Dre.
Oh.
It's a throwback to a long time ago for us, I think. So what meatr0o is looking for now is, one, that dash he did there was very risky. He knew that a door was broken, so he could do it. But there are a lot of tiles like this where he can't dash this wall now because that door is shut. So he can dash over the wall and he's confident. Right now, what we're looking for, you'll see as meatr0o goes on, and every time he brings the map up to check, this map is huge. It's very labyrinthine. It's usually going to be northeast or northwest. It's not often southeast or southwest, but it can, as it did in Act 1, loop back on itself and do it to you. So what meatr0o is looking for is a zigzagging lava tile set that will let him know that he's in the correct area. Ping Rage, narrator is text. So when we go, he's probably going the right direction right now.
Yeah, I think
You'll see as soon as he gets this lava tile set.
Here it is.
Yeah, here it is. So he'll go northwest from here, and the exit will appear on the map just there. So this next one is not much better. This one also sucks. So he's looking for a snowy tile set like this that has a broken door that we can walk into. It's the same deal. It's most likely going to be northeast, northwest. That was a very good dash.
Very lucky.
Yeah, so he's always just going to gamble and try and take it. 90% of the time it's going to be a door shut. So if the door's shut, you'll just... So every time you see meatr0o dash into a wall here, and it looks like he go through, it's because of the shut door, and we're all like furious that it happened. It's one of the worst parts of doing this run.
Stops you from going fast.
Scrub Casual said his worst bad voice acting, and I'll give this a go. Privates, if you need to be reminded which end of the sword goes where, you haven't been paying attention. Yeah, that is the worst voice acting game. I completely agree. Luckily, we mashed through that, so I never have to hear it. So he's found the correct tile.
I think my least favorite is we won't talk to him in the run, unfortunately, but there's a barbarian vendor in the town for this act, in the northwest of town. If you played this game before, he's terrible. I'm sorry, apologies to the voice actor.
Yeah, I think he's like pseudo-Australian as well.
Yeah, he might be.
So this one's a lot easier to find. Walk the wrong way, you've got to commit to a direction pretty much. So it's either going to be northwest or southeast. And it's usually two ways you can go. You've got to pick one of them, and then you end up going the northeast tile set. Yeah, don't worry, I know this. The voice line, I hear it all the time. Petrol said, how many times roughly do we think we've practiced this run? Together, for the co-op, I would say we've practiced it. Metro and I did it duo originally. We probably did that together maybe 200 or 300 times. We've done 3 and 4 man, maybe another several hundred on top of that maybe. I would say we're getting into the thousands now.
Got confused about what level I was on.
Okay, so now Metro can use 7-sided strike to finish this. Easy through. It's very rare he gives you a legendary. We're still on the lookout for legendaries as well, of course. There's probably 2 more places in this act that they can come. They can also randomly spawn from every barrel you break, every chest you open. So if a chest is not too far out of Metro's path, he will try and open it. Otherwise, they'll just come through bosses. So this next bit that's coming up is a set-piece straight-line run. There's nothing too difficult about the next probably 5 minutes. Metro's making a run to Siegebreaker Assault Beast, which the whole thing is reasonably not random. There's a couple of catapults that are placed randomly, but we know where they can spawn. What we do want in this bit specifically is movement speed, so we want to break barrels if we can, and shrines. So it's good that Metro got to get some move speed there as much as possible. He wants to try and break barrels to get them. And then in this bit coming up, he's looking for catapults. There are a couple of places for shrines that he's going to check as well to try and see if he can get. They can spawn left and right side of the map here, so northwest and southeast. Metro's very lucky that he's gotten 2 already spawning on the west, so he knows he has to check the east side left. He'll probably gamble and check the shorter one, yes he is, just to save a bit more time. Yep, I'm very lucky. So he's got the 3 shortest, easiest ones to get. He'll go into the trebuchet and do a clean dash that will go over the wall, which will save a lot of time having to walk back and walk around. Just got to break this and then he can dash over that wall. Just continue straight northeast. So this run here is very, it's a static, it's sort of the layout of the bridge changes in some respects, but the length is the same, and you're expecting to see the same old things every time. But while Metro's on it, I'd say we've probably got time for donations and messages, I think.
So I'll just quickly remind everyone, we're on Speedrun's a group that organises charity events across the year. And for Fast 2020, the event you are currently enjoying, we are raising money for the Royal Flying Doctor Service, a fantastic charity which supports medical aid for those in regional and rural Australia. Fantastic charity, we love supporting it. This time around I just want to give a more specific shout out to the Oz Speedruns community. The primary place is the Discord. I'm just going to pop a link into chat now. If you want to get involved, get in the Discord. Everyone at Oz Speedruns completely volunteer. You know, no one's making a buck out of this. And it's volunteers from the ground up, whether you're runner, staffer, doing design, running the show, it doesn't matter. Everyone's volunteers, we'd love more people getting involved. Get involved in hosting, get involved in running. Discord's the place to be. It'll have all the up-to-date information on events coming up, places to sign up, place to give feedback even if you just want to be a more, you know, just a member of the community as opposed to staffing. It's all there. Join up, enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you there.
Thanks, Offman. So this tile is another sort of confused one. We're always heading northeast, so the Metro is likely going the right direction, and we'll always just tend to take the path of least resistance and run northeast and hope for a good. Yeah, and that's very short. That's very good. The game can definitely try and mess you up, and it can send you southeast and do big loops into more southeast, and make you wrap around until you end up in the northeast that you originally wanted to go. So we're lucky that you just run straight there. So this bit coming up, so all these towers are set pieces. They're nothing, there's no RNG with them. The only RNG is the mob spawns and the breakables. So
You can get different tower levels, but depending on which one you land on, they're always the same path.
Yeah, so once you know all the possible tiles, then you know it. So Metro will just look for breakables to try and get a 7 breakable move speed bonus if you can get. You don't want to slow down to do it because unless you can see 7, it's a big risk in this place. the amount of enemies that can break the breakables for you and ruin your chain is possible, so you've got to be very sure. Another thing worth noting is meatr0o very luckily got an empowered shrine at the beginning of the bridge, and for being a very simple set piece with no RNG, having the ability to dash non-stop is very good. So he's right now heading towards the fight with Sedea, which is... One thing that's annoying about these boss fights is that they will have vulnerability frames in the fight. So she won't die, she'll leave at 50%. So meatr0o will try and kill her before she starts an animation. He'll save his 7-sided strike so he can kill these two. Oh, he's missed it. So what he wants to do is kill those two succubuses and the heart at the same time.
The first one juked me, so I couldn't do it.
Yeah, so you can save a bit of time by using your 7-sided strike, and it will hit all 3 of them. If you can position yourself to not hit the other mobs at the same time, all you got to do is kill the 3 succubuses, kill the heart, and move on. Evo, yes, you can't use Paragon, so the game has to be completely fresh. So we could go to vendors and buy items, and sort of the game would just become random what items you bought, things like that. So the run itself will just make it pure random.
There is a category called New Game Plus where you can gear a character and use Paragon. That's, I think the world record for that is maybe Monk at like 30 minutes or 40 minutes-ish.
Yeah, I think it's 48. And those runs are very, very intense. So, you know, because your dash, you can spec your gear to be, you know, very, very cooldown reduced. So you could just dash nearly infinitely. So it's very stressful to watch. You're just dashing into walls non-stop. So meatr0o's on the right path there, you can tell from the longer walk. As soon as you see that Azmodan event, you know you're at the end.
I do hope.
So these towers are the same, they're set pieces, we know where it's going to go, meatr0o has the dashes and everything down pat.
Yeah, one thing to really optimize the movement, sometimes you'll see me holding dashes longer than sometimes I should, but it's because I can cut off big corners by doing so.
Yeah, so that block will have affected, he would have probably dashed over that corner there
Yeah, it wasn't
earlier, because he got blocked and he had no spirit, and that's one of the hard things about managing this run, is you want to try and have as much spirit as possible. He's 2 levels away from having Exalted Soul, which will let his spirit regenerate without having to fight. You just don't want to waste time to punch enemies to rebuild your spirit. So after this is the boss fight with Sedea, and as soon as the boss fight with Sedea is done, we do another set piece walk leading into the fight with Azmodan. And then once the Azmodan fight's done, we'll hopefully have a balance. If not, we're on to Act 4, and Act 4 is very fast-paced, a bit of a nightmare. A lot of time gets lost, but
It's pretty RNG heavy, Act 4.
yeah, there's not a lot that we can specifically do about it. Like, our times are very consistent in it. The problem with it is just what the game gives you. So you can be perfect in all your execution and everything, and you just get an unlucky spawn. You're often looking for something to spawn in one of 12 places. Sometimes it happens, and you're waiting. You're just hoping you get the first one, and if you get the last one, that's just bad luck. So we hope for good luck going into Act 4, and then it doesn't get any easier in Act 5. Act 5, the game has its last attempt to ruin your run for you.
Yeah, Act 5 is also pretty RNG heavy. A lot of the maps are very large, sprawling, and have lots of loops.
With not a lot of, I would say, what is the word I'm looking for? There's not a lot of information that we can use to work out where the end is.
Yeah, it's harder to predict if you're on the right path or not than some of the previous acts.
So the good thing about this Azmodan fight is he's set in place, he doesn't run away, meatr0o will 7-sided strike and kill him very quick. items aren't super important. His damage is still a bit bad. You probably hope to kill him with just a 7-sided strike. Oh, he's got boots and braces. The
Braces
boots,
could be
hopefully.
good.
The lash and tail boots. The braces could be Caesar's memento.
Lashing tails.
Oh, he's got the lashing tail boots though. That's really good. What you don't want is you don't want these lashing tail boots. So if Rivera dances the lashing tail boots, if they don't have move speed on them, he's going to have to switch between the two for the rest of the run, and that's such a pain in the ass to manage. So he's going to get a very short window to identify it in this fight. He'll do it right now, so try and do it
Missed it.
before the things spawn. Hopefully the Templar saves him. Yep, he got the boots done. So if he doesn't do
12%,
it there,
yes. They've got
What
move
do they
speed
have?
on. 12% move speed.
right, okay, perfect. Yeah. So
You can watch me melt this boss now.
yeah, so he can kill bosses with one lashing tail kick sometimes now. At most it'll be 2 or 3. You need them for the Diablo fight coming up, because the Diablo fight coming up at the end of this act can waste so much of your time, especially in solo. You have to make a decision because you're fighting Diablo in 3 phases, and if you don't have... Ooh, yeah, you move.
It was Odin's son.
Ah, good. Yeah, that does nothing. So yeah, for the Diablo fight coming up, you have to fight him in 3 phases, and he has iframes, so you have to make a decision on where you're going to use the 7-sided strike. And if your 7-sided strike, because you're only going to get enough time to use it maybe once or twice, if you've gotten some cooldown reduction on items leading up into the run, you might be able to squeeze in a 7-sided strike in the first phase, kill him in the second phase, and then using again in the third, which would be optimal. If you can't do that, then you have to decide how you're going to kill him. Having these lashing tail boots are going to be really good, so meatr0o is going to have to make sure he has enough spirit going into that fight to get through it quickly. If he doesn't, he'll lose time in the first and third phase by Diablo running away from him, which is so annoying, and I hate the fact that Diablo, the scariest boss and the namesake of the game, spends the entire fight in Act 4 running away from him, but so he does. The second phase, however, he will appear, disappear, and then you fight a clone of yourself, and you will keep fighting clones of yourself until you kill him. And you waste so much time having to deal with that's the key part of that fight, is you want to make sure the second phase is over quick and you have enough damage to get through the first and second so he doesn't run away from you. So what meatr0o is doing right now is he's breaking these growths. There's some growths, so that one there, anyone that's blocking your path will not spawn the Hell Gate that we're looking for, but there's 4 spawns where the Hell Gate can spawn. So there's one here, it might be here, that's the third. Nope, so it spawned the last one.
Nope.
So just down. Yeah, so this one here is the last one, it'll be here. So that's just 1 in 4, that's fine. It's not the end of the world, it's not a huge time save. Time loss getting the 4th one there. In the next one, it can spawn in, there's probably about 20 ones in the next one, but it can spawn in, I think, 8 of them. But they're so far apart from each other that meatr0o is going to hope. So one will spawn straight to either his north. Okay, one will be to his northeast immediately. So we're hoping that it will be.
Shrine.
Yeah, so the shrine can spawn there. meatr0o will look there first. Hopefully it's a good one. If it spawns here, so good. Please do it. No. Okay, so now he's going to do the chain, breaking as many of these as possible. Every single one we hope could be this one. Nope. So all we don't want is it for it to be the last one. So it can't ever spawn at that one. To the southwest there's one that it will hopefully spawn at.
Lots of knockback mobs here, so I'm taking my dashes so I can do this dash.
Yeah, and this is a problem with Act 4 and 5, is a lot of these mobs now charge into you and interrupt you. So you got to be very cautious because they can interrupt your dashes and waste your movement. So he's checked, this is a spawn, it's not that, so it's going to be one of the last 2. Oh, he's got a fleeting shrine there though.
I'll get it for the next phase.
Yeah, do it for the next phase. Another problem is you can see how it locked him in there. Jailer is an affix that some of the elite spawns have. Jailer is so annoying if you don't have dash. You can dash out of it. So that's the last possible spawn you can get, and we sadly got it. So this split is the time-losing split of Act 4, and Metro's got the worst possible one of them. But it's not the end of the world because there is time save. There is a lot of time save coming up in Acts 4 and 5, and it will be tight, but if Metro does Act 5 perfect and has a lot of great luck, he could possibly still get, or beat, well, or get the fleet. You miss it?
Yeah, I'm just killing the mobs.
Yeah, good idea.
Ooh.
Jailed. Yeah, so he could still possibly get the world record if everything goes well from here on.
Faces death.
So he's now just hit level 20, which is very good. That's now the last bit of experience we want to get. So every single mob Metro kills from here on is a waste. Whispera talked about it earlier on, but the mobs level up with you. So there is nearly no incentive to level up at all because it just slows you down. Every time if we got the best item in the game, every single time we level up, that item is now getting weaker and weaker and weaker. So ideally you want to have the best weapons and stay at that level. But it's faster, of course, to get Exalted Soul, Seven-Sided Strike. Yeah, it's that way.
Just misread the tile.
Yeah, so these tiles here, what we're looking for is these bridges. If you're walking along a bridge, you're more than likely going the right way. It can be in any direction. It will be southeast, northwest, northeast, doesn't matter what direction you're going. We just tend to walk on bridges, it'll take you in the right spot. So Metro's, he's found the exit. We're now going to fight Izuol, which is a mini-boss that's really easy, but he's a real pain in the ass. If you don't have enough damage, which I don't think Metro has, or Lashing Tail might get us through it, but what he'll do is he'll chain freeze Metro and just waste 6 seconds of his life. And he did it. Oh, Metro's nailed that. That's really good. I haven't seen that before, actually. He didn't freeze you there and you got out of it. Has that happened to you before?
Yeah. Just got lucky.
Yeah, that's really good. So Metro should have been frozen there, but I feel like he dashed out of it.
Yeah, if you 7-sided strike at the right time.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, so Metro hangs on to his 7-sided strike a bit longer than I would. I would tend to do it early and hope for the best and get frozen. So that was really good. So yeah, that fight's not difficult, but he can just... if he freezes you once, he'll then drop frozen orbs and freeze you again, and then freeze you a third time. And you're just standing there waiting the whole time. And then he dies. So same as before, Metro's looking for some bridges. It's probably going to wrap around itself. And once he finds those bridges, we'll be fighting Diablo. So I would say probably now is a good time for donations while we head to Diablo, if we have any.
Oh, yeah, we've got a $11.55 donation from Anonymous. No comment, but of course, thank you very much for donating. Just a quick reminder, the incentive coming up in about 30 minutes from now, thereabouts, is Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel audio language, currently English versus Japanese. And Japanese is currently behind by about $50. So if you're interested in hearing the overnight game in Japanese, get those donations in. They're all going towards the Royal Flying Doctor Service. Fantastic charity supporting remote rural Australia. Medical assistance. Proud to be supporting them. And yeah, all the donations going towards them. Thank you.
Cool, thanks.
Oh,
So
just got it.
That's phase 2, and Metro just got that. That was
so close.
That's incredible. So, Act 1's okay. Oh, there you go. Just so everyone can get an example of why Diablo sucks. Why not just stand and fight? You're the embodiment of evil, but whatever. So, he ran away. Yeah. He'll now iframe for a bit. You can punch him and get your spirit back. He annoyingly will sit on 1 health while he's there laying down, so if you don't punch him, he will literally just lay there. And it's really annoying, so you have to keep punching him as he's there dying. So this next bit has some very cool co-op tech that we only just discovered recently. well, there's a cutscene coming up that we can actually skip. Solo can't do it, but we will definitely be showing it off at AGDQ. So we don't have access to a town yet, so we have to run there to activate it. There's a lot of dashes like that one that Metro can do to speed it up. What's going to happen next is this split coming up is is the second worst of the act. So what Metro is going to do, also I'll probably talk about the fight that's coming up, which is another terrible fight, where the boss essentially just runs away from you, but she can teleport in 4 different directions to run away from you. So it's easier in co-op, of course, because you can just all 3 of you run to different locations she spawns to, and then 7-sided strike her as she appears in them. Metro will have to just try and manipulate her to go a direction. It's very difficult to do, so she'll likely just do whatever she wants and waste our time.
Hopefully with kick I might be able to get her.
Yeah, so Metro can feasibly one-shot her with his kick.
Got it.
There, got her. Wow, she didn't even move. Yeah, so that's the best case. He'll get a bit of speed boost on these chairs here.
Didn't get it. The level screwed it up.
Yeah. I thought the level would have assisted it. So this map is I was going to say it's the worst of Act 5. It's arguable, but it's the worst of Act 5 to me. This could just be anywhere. We've got a lot of things that we just say, oh, Fleeting Shrine helps, so. There's a lot of dumb things we say to each other to make it feel better. Because there's no real great way to tell which direction is the right way. We tend to say gates are pretty good. You'd say gates are pretty great if you go into them, because
that's my motto.
We tend to find the right way more often when we go through gates. If you walk through a straight path, you tend to just get a dead end and skip a bunch of ways that are the right way. So I feel like Metro is going the right way. When you see these straights, you tend to be going in a better spot.
Yeah, this map, while it's annoyingly frustrating, there's 2 loops on the map somewhere, and you need to pass both loops. If you've gone and discovered both loops, you've taken way too long time. So you can, when Metro pulls it back, you can actually probably see a couple of those loops and potential loops, and you just got to hope that that's what they are. And there you go. He's found the exit.
And that's a really, really quick time. Like, I would be surprised if that wasn't gold. What do you think, Metro? Gold?
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, I don't know if that can be any better than that, really. Like, that's insane. So you got to kill these corpse piles. 7-sided strike's really good to use with them. Metro might hang on to it to kill her at the same time. Yeah, so in co-op it's very nice because we can go into position ourselves between the 2 piles and have 2 standing on her. 7-sided strike to kill the 2 corpse piles at the same time, then the other 2 will then kill her, so that can be over very fast. So this one is not too difficult. You're just running along the edge of the map. You 50-50 choose a way, so you're either following north or south. You hope you pick the right one. You're looking for like a narrow alley, essentially. So if he finds the alley early, the earlier he finds it, the better. He's found it, so
Wasn't
that's
too
pretty
bad.
good.
Pick the right way at least.
Yeah. And then you've got to do it again. So there's a door, essentially, so now Metro is 50-50 and going northwest or southeast. Sort of hug the wall and hope to find a door. You don't have to hug the wall exactly because it will appear on the map when you get close. So Metro's going to just try and find the marker on the map rather than the door itself. So there it is. So that wasn't bad, that was good. Above average. So same thing again. Now you're going to fight. Yeah, and you're right, yeah, the map is filled with destructibles, so it's very easy to get speed boost there. You want to make sure that you get it. Lashing Tail Kick is very good for this. If you don't have... balance is very good, of course, but Lashing Tail Kick is excellent for raking nades. The only problem with the reason why Lashing Tail Kick is not better than balance is because it just uses more spirit. Because you have to have spirit to use Lashing Tail Kick, and you can use roughly 4 or 5 Lashing Tail Kicks before you run out, whereas balance you can nearly do it indefinitely at this point in the game. So we're done with that bit. We're on the way to Urzael. Urzael used to be a very difficult split for us, but it's not too bad now. You're essentially looking for a pair of bridges that will wrap on themselves northwest. This can be a lot shorter than the previous big map. So it's essentially the same thing. We'll jump through a couple of gates, try and get onto a northwest-northeast running bridge, and then peel off to the correct one. So I'll point out the northwest-northeast bridge when we get to it. It might be at the edge of this curve. So might... Yeah, maybe that bridge, or maybe that gate. This looks so...
Yeah, dead end.
Nah, dead end.
Gate was great.
So, yeah,
Maybe.
yeah. So this looks pretty good. It doesn't mean it is. Light and Shrine, we don't need that at this point in the game. We're not looking for experience.
Come on,
Yes,
Luke.
that's your loop that you've just gone past. So this map, unlike the other one, only has one mandatory loop to get past. So you should hopefully very quickly find the next after pass.
Yeah, it'll be down here now probably.
Yeah, so it's these bridges that we're looking for. So it may not be on this bridge specifically, but it'll probably... Yeah, so there we go. There's a little dash
quite
coming
long.
up where you have to walk up these stairs here. meatr0o will dash right up. You can start the fight straight away. So this is a two-phase fight. There is risk of death here. This is one of the only times in the game where you can die. Urzael does a lot of damage. So he luckily was chain stunned the whole time. So if he couldn't do his first ones, he'll start to burn meatr0o down now. Luckily, meatr0o does a lot of damage.
He's having spirit problems though.
Yeah, and that's the having spirit issues with monk is really going to let you take damage. If we had infinite spirit, it would probably be one of the best classes, or it would be the best class in all categories. So now is the... So I'm not going to say this is, because this isn't the worst part at all, but this is definitely the wildest part of the run. This map is crazy with how it's sort of how it's laid out and how you can lose so much time or gain all of it back. There's so much potential for a great run here, but you can lose it all here too. So this is a set piece, this bit, but then going after it, in the next tile, we're looking for 2 Nephilim orbs with 4 potential, what are they called? They're like dungeons, essentially. So it's 4 dungeons that we're looking to get into. meatr0o 7-sided strikes, a bunch here to show off some tech. Didn't do it. So we'll...
Bad fight.
You can walk in... So you can walk in all 4 of these dungeons coming up. You don't know which ones. You look... Oh, that's really lucky. It's palm on the map straight away. So meatr0o's probably saved about 20 seconds of looking. Spawning right there is crazy good. So guide stones like that he's just clicked on is what we're looking for. They can spawn right here, right in front of us. So meatr0's just check the map. There's northeast, northwest, and 2 southwest of him. He can't check all 4 of them. One of them's ruled out right now. There's still 3 that he can possibly check. So he's going to run straight to one. You can gamble and go straight into it and hope for the best. If you're on a really tight run, there's a guide stone appeared on the map now, northwest. So he's got to find this guide stone, which will eliminate some. So that one that we were going to walk into got eliminated, so then meatr0o knows that he can't just go in that one. So the southwest ones are likely it. We hope to find another guide stone. If he doesn't, he might just 50-50 one of them will walk in and hope for the best. There's a few tells that we know that we're in the right one when we go in there, but there's no audio cues like the dungeons in Act 1. So these guide stones, there's one. That's the last one. So it's probably going to be that northwest. Oh, no. Oh. God, it wouldn't have been
That could have
good
been
to
worse.
walk right in that one.
The annoying part of that map is it's really these traps, obviously, and it's really difficult to tell where the guide stones can spawn. Like sometimes I've been on maps before where there's 2 pressed up against each other in a far corner, and you literally would have to either explore the whole map or luckily get there. Like it's very punishing sometimes.
Yeah, we're pretty sure there's no pattern to it, or rhyme or reason. I'm pretty sure, like, I tend to, if I'm looking for them, I check for large open patches of ground, like with no
Yeah,
destructibles
that's
or
about
anything.
the best you can do.
They tend to appear there, but other than that, like, you just hope it's the best. So this is a nightmare. There's a lot of destructibles, so you should have a lot of movement speed. A lot of doors, so you can't dash over the walls. Sorry, there's a lot of dead ends. So Metro could be going the right way, but this likely is going to... Oh no, he's gone the right way. That's really good. So that could have been a filthy dead end and made him walk all the way back.
And often
So
is.
yeah, so this one is filled with loops. So you can just walk the right direction straight away. You tend to go past one loop before you do it.
Will not do that.
But you can definitely walk back in on yourself and waste tons of time having to double back. So what you're being wary of here is a lot of the pathways will tend to veer off very quick. So you've got to check all the corners of the map to make sure that you see them and don't miss anything. But you've also got to be very conscious of not getting yourself stuck on a loop. So Metro will be looking for certain tiles that we're looking for to make sure that he's not getting himself in a way. So right now this one can go southeast and he could just be walking straight to the exit. This won't likely loop in on itself. If it does, very disappointing. This could also just be a terrible dead end. So there's no way that this can loop back on itself, so this feels kind of good. But it can just be a dead end and he has to walk back the whole way.
Lots of doors.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm hoping... Yeah, dead end.
Ooh, that's a dead end. So you check the northeast one just to make sure it doesn't peel off, but yeah, you have to run the whole way back. Yeah, so all we're looking for is the doors here, exit to the next level where we fight Adria. Once that Adria fight's done, then, I mean, another worst part of the act comes up.
Every part.
Yeah, and then we
Yeah, no, it's not too bad. It's just they're just really punishing. Here we go.
There we go. I would say quick donation if you got one before we start the end game talks.
I just want to quickly replug that incentive that's coming up because it's going to be in about 10 minutes. Same position, $50 separates English and Japanese, with English $50 a head, and that's for Trails of Cold Steel 2, the audio language. So not too much longer to go. Get those donations in.
Thanks, Softmat. So this is just a standard fight, nothing particularly difficult or impressive here. But what happens after this is very impressive. So this is a great trick coming up, and one of the very few places in the run where this happens. So what Metro is going to have to do is there's 3 gates that are locked, and he has to wait for Imperius to break the gates down for him. There's one specific mob that he's trying to kill that is what's waiting for the gate to open. With Lashing Tail Kick, he can breeze through it, so he'll just one-shot the enemy and we move on. But at the final gate, he'll collect a siege rune, and then he will have to walk to the next zone. We have a trick that will save roughly, what is it, like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. And what it does is, and it's unique to this, not unique, but it's very rare, and it only happens in this and a few other areas, is the waypoint becomes active once this event finishes. So Metro doesn't have to walk there. What he'll do is he'll kill a couple of mobs that he knows can interrupt him from teleporting. He'll teleport to the waypoint the second he's able to and skip walking down the beginning bit and also skip the cutscene. So you'll see it soon, it's at this next bit. So he's going to double dash. He'll dash very quick. He'll break these chains here, kill this boss. Quickly collect that siege rune, activate that TP, hopefully not to get interrupted, and skip that whole event. And that's very good, that's very well done. So now this is the bad bit. So this is the last bad bit of the run. So now we have to get 2 siege runes in this really big shit map. It's spawns out everywhere. Where the only things that we can use as markers are one of the siege runes will spawn on the edge of the map, definitely. Ooh, there's one straight away. That's really good. Yeah, one will spawn on the edge. meatr0o has got the edge one straight away, so now we know that one of them will spawn in the middle of the map. So meatr0o doesn't have to check the edges. Well, he does, but he doesn't have to check the edges for a Speedrun anymore. Then the next thing we're looking for is the exit. So the exit is visible on the map, but it doesn't appear. So you can see the tile where the portal that appears will be. So he could find the exit before he finds the next rune and just be able to recognize it because we know what we're looking for.
Oh,
and the second one's there. This is really good. Usually you spend about like a minute 30 running around in circles. But he's found this straight away. Oh, wow. It's right there.
that was
Oh,
nice. That was really nice. That was well above average.
Ooh. This may have been a run if you didn't soft lock that correct.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, kill him, move on. That's the last difficult bit of the run. So if you're on PB pace at this point, you know you're on. So we've got a mini event here. There's nothing that can be done to speed it up. You're just essentially killing mobs and breaking chains that slow you down. With lashing tail kick, it'll make it trivial. He's got to make sure he has enough spirit to do the whole thing.
So
The next bit.
you keep talking about maps you hate. What's your preferred map then? What map do you get to and you enjoy playing through if you hate all these maps?
I love Act 1. I hate Act 5.
Yeah, Act 1's really fun because there's not too much randomness, and there's a lot of speed tech in it as well.
I would also say, if you ever watch me practice this,
Hexen is prone to anger as well.
Twitch TV/Hexen, you watch me ever run this. I'm promising you, if you see me get to Act 5, I've lost. Or Act 3, I've lost it. I'm really bad at GOM. I really hate running GOM. It's so easy. Your run can go pear-shaped there, and oh my god. So yeah, meatr0o's done everything to be done on this now, and then we just go on to the next bit. All that has to be done here is there's a few NPCs we can skip. They, exclamation mark comes up, and you can just skip them, ignore them. Then meatr0o has to look for the exit. The exit can spawn in 4 spots. He will run to essentially the first spawn where it will be, and I don't know why, but 90% of the time it's there. You can run northeast or south, northwest or southeast here. It is so rarely northwest. When we're doing co-op, I'll check that northwest one every time and get him speed boost. But other than that, I'm absolutely not expecting to get it. Be maybe 3 times in the whole time we've done this. The 1,000 times we've done it, it's only been there 3 times, so we can almost expect it won't be. So meatr0o should be just 1 loop away from getting there. It's right there, yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting it to be on the next one.
I will not do that.
And Herbrev, yes, it's a good point. If anyone wants to run Diablo 3 or has any questions about the run, we're more than happy to get into answer any questions or help. Like, I love watching people run it and help coach them through, because you can get a time, like most people's first time tends to be around doing a co-op run can be around 2 hours. Sometimes doing a solo run can be 2.5 hours.
What you ask is
We're happy to watch any runs, and you can even talk you down to a 2-hour run very quick.
Also, shout out to a speedrunner in the community, Pokito, we mentioned before, but she's written a fantastic guide about a lot of the maps and how they work and the tricks to getting through them really fast. So that's also on our Discord.
Yeah, there is a lot of resources available to new runners, and Pokito's developed a lot of them. Gartham as well, a previous world record holder, and a world record holder for Demon Hunter, or is that Pokito now?
He's got a lot of categories still, I think.
Yeah, so they've created a lot of resources that definitely should be checked out. But yeah, the run itself is very entertaining. There's a lot to learn. It's really fun. It can be very high paced. Monk especially is very fun. A lot of the other classes can be very just grindy, very runny, but the dashing tech in this makes it very exciting. So any questions, please feel free to ask us. We're very happy to help and answer and get anyone into it. So the Maltail fight is the last thing. We're just about to end. Time's coming up. He has a lot of iframes. He can kill you very easily. meatr0o's problem is lashing tail kick will often be met with iframes. he can kill you in this cutscene too.
Yeah, if your health's too low
clouds
here,
spawns on you.
sometimes he'll dash off.
Yeah, so Metro luckily has some good resistances. He's killed Malphal. He did very well there. He'll usually do a skill there that keeps him at 1 health, and he'll nearly kill you doing it. But Metro's at a low level. If Metro was a bit slower and he got to level 28 or something, he could die there, just because of how much damage Malphal does.
So just a warning on time, the run will end as soon as I talk to Tyrael here.
So we'll let you know.
And time.
Where is the black soulstone? Malthael
The time was 140 something.
Then Malthael's death will have released Diablo.
What was the time?
148.04.
It's a really good time.
That's not good.
Yeah,
that's not
for a
bad.
soft lock, that's a really good time. I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean that would have been world record not long ago.
Yeah, very well could have been. All right,
Yeah.
well, that was Diablo 3. Thanks very much for having us. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we appreciate everyone watching. I've been. Well, let Metro plug his Twitch if you want.
Oh yeah, twitch.tv/meatr0o with a 0 and O. You'll see me practice a lot of Diablo, reset a lot in Act 1, but yeah, feel free to jump on and ask me any questions. You're into
We'll be
running this
practicing
game.
the co-op as well to prepare for AGDQ, so we'll be doing that a lot leading up into January. So feel free to come and help us out on the run to it. Yeah, Twitch TV/Hexen with Bera.
Yeah, thanks all for sticking and watching. Always a really enjoyable run to watch Metro run through this, one of the fastest runners. I'm, obviously one of the 3 runners for the AGDQ run. It's going to be really good fun. It's a lot higher paced than this, a lot more communication between all of us. One of the big reasons I really enjoy speedrunning is the co-op aspect. Not one for playing by myself, but this kind of category really allows you to build a good relationship with other people and build a lot of friendships through speedrunning. Hexen and meatr0o, I know them in real life, but bonding over this and playing through this, it's phenomenal, really good fun. Can only speak to the community as well. So thanks, guys.
Yep, thanks for having us, Australia Speedruns. Thanks, Fast 2020. Please keep donating to the Royal Flying Doctor Service and enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Thanks, guys.
Cool.